Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 24th Ward and to Homan Square. The Park District holds a very special place for me. As many of you know or don't know, I was a park rat, I was a rec leader, I was a supervisor and area manager under this gentleman, Mike Kelly, for several years, and Homan Square was my home and my office. And so it is very good to be with you here at Homan Square, and it is good to see all of our partners here in such a time as this, making sure that our children have a great and solid foundation during the summer. Being a park district everything for the last 16 years, I see how important out of school time is for our young people. And again, being the chair of the Education and Child Development, the chair of the City Council's Education and Child Development, again, it is so great to see our partners step to the plate in such a time as this. And the person who corrals all of this and make sure that our agency has the resources and make sure they're doing the things that our young children need is a good friend of mine and the mayor of the greatest city of Chicago, our mayor, Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you, Alderman Scott. There was a time for most of last summer and fall, we were together basically every day announcing something related to our young people in CPS. So thank you always for your friendship and your leadership. Now, this is an event about an array of programming that we have for our young people this summer, and I will get to that in a moment. But before I do, I want to address a topic that's on many of our minds, and that's police reform, and speak to the gains that our city just made in arbitration with 3 units of the Policemen's Benefit, Benevolent and Protective Association, that's the PBPA, which represents more than 1,500 sergeants, lieutenants, and captains in the Chicago Police Department. The arbitrator's ruling that was announced earlier today is truly nothing short of historic. It covers a number of issues that we've been fighting for literally for years. Many of you will recall after the issuance of the Police Accountability Task Force report in April of 2016, many of us spent a significant amount of time on a range of issues, but in particular, really pressing the then administration on police contracts and what was going to be the plan for these contracts and how would they be more true to the values of our city around policing. Now, of course, fast forward to 2019, when my administration then became responsible for finishing these negotiations, and we placed a significant premium on a number of things. The ruling today covers issues that we've been fighting for, including allowing anonymous complaints to be investigated, ending the destruction of disciplinary records, preventing the names of complainants from being disclosed to officers until they are interviewed, and additional reforms that will align Chicago with national best practices. All of these gains reflect our values as a city and the change we need in order to build the critical trust between our officers and the communities that they serve. And I just want to underscore, this is a big historic step forward. And it comes after years of bargaining on measures that I personally championed for several years. I also want to say that while this was a long time in coming, and the negotiations, and particularly before the arbitrator, were hard fought, and the PBPA really argued on behalf of their members, this was a very civil discussion. We fought hard, we marshaled the facts, we advocated on behalf of our respective position, but this was a negotiation that was done with an eye towards building bridges, not tearing them down. And I want to emphasize that. And we will use this, these awards as we move into the next phase, which is in negotiations with the FOP. And I hope that the FOP will actually follow the example of the PBPA and bring the same spirit of collaboration. Now, we're going to have a lot of battles. There's a lot of issues that we don't agree on, and we're going to absolutely press our case, but I hope that that will be done with a spirit of civility. Now, turning back to the purpose at hand today, and I hope you feel the energy that is in this room with all of the people who make a difference in the lives of our young people across the city. Everything that we do has to be a collaboration. And this array of city and sister agency leaders, I think, should tell everyone that we are all in supporting our youth. And I want to give a special thanks to my wife and the First Lady, Amy Eshelman, who cares deeply about our young people, particularly in their out-of-school time. So in addition to Alderman Scott, we have our Department of Family and Support Services Commissioner, Lisa Morrison Butler, Chicago Park District Superintendent, Mike Kelly, Chicago Libraries Commissioner, Andrea Telly, CPS CEO, Dr. Janice Jackson, and Chicago Housing Authority CEO, Tracy Scott. And of course, we also have Chicago Police Superintendent, David Brown. I also want to give a special shout out to one of our youth commissioners, Elijah Warren. Of course, I'm partial to him because he has the same name as my father, but he's also a really, really great young person, and you'll hear from him. Also, Chicago's Deputy Mayor for Education and Human Services, Dr. Sybil Madison, who's been very instrumental in making all of these things come together so that our young people have an array of support and networks over the course of the summer and into next year. So much of what I know about youth engagement really comes from the lessons that I've learned from Amy, who has really worked tirelessly for 20 plus years on these issues and worked in collaboration with people here in Chicago and across the country. So again, I want to give her a special personal thanks. Our children and our young people and our future, they're all the same. And that's what we're here to celebrate. And this summer, we've set the stage for them to grow, explore, and be inspired. I'm so incredibly proud to be joining all of our city leaders here in announcing an array of programming we have for our young people this summer. As we all know, this summer will be unlike any other that we've experienced because of COVID-19. But if this disease has shown us anything, it's the singular, urgent importance of making bold, ambitious investments in our young people and in every part of their lives. Which is why I applaud all the work of all of our city departments and scores of youth organizations who've stepped up, adapted, and created innovative solutions to ensure that over 160,000 of our kids this summer will have access to resources and opportunities they need to keep learning, to stay engaged, build relationships, connect up with caring mentors, and to be safe. Chicago is the city that works because we're the city that cares, the city that loves, and the city that has a good sense to know that the best investment we can make is in our young people. And if we support them and we love them, the sky is the limit for their ambitions and their potential. A few weeks ago, the First Lady and I announced and launched My Shy, My Future. This came together following many months of collaborating with young people and more than 250 organizations, including city departments, all with a singular aim: to create a full, rich, citywide ecosystem for every young person to engage in a universe of out-of-school programs across Chicago. And our city is full of incredible programs, all intended to support our young people. But what was missing, though, was how to bring them together under one roof. But more than that, what My Shy, My Future represents is our vision of ensuring that every young person in Chicago is connected to their interests, their passions, and all the things that motivate them toward determining, and yes, claiming, a future they own and are proud of. When it comes to the programs we'll be offering this summer, our youth will have everything from job opportunities, sports, camps, virtual activities, social and emotional supports, traditional academic programs, opportunities to serve, and more. Starting with long-standing programs like One Summer Chicago. Led by Commissioner Butler and her team at DFSS, One Summer Chicago will be hiring 20,000 youth this summer, making it the largest youth employment program in the nation this year, helping our young people to develop the skills they need to discover their passions and lay the path for their future careers. A signature aspect of One Summer Chicago this year, which is also a first for our city, and I'm proud to announce this, will be the Chicago Youth Service Corps. And let me tell you a bit about that. This will channel the passion of 2,000 of our city's young people to supporting our response to COVID-19 with their own talent, energy, and ideas. And I want to take a moment to give special thanks to the Clara Lionel Foundation, who stepped up in a big way with a nearly $3 million grant to support this effort. Funding which allowed us to double the size of our Youth Service Corps from its original level of 1,000 young people. So thank you so much to the foundation. I'd also like to acknowledge the wisdom and creativity of Commissioner Butler and her team in developing on the One Summer Chicago program and harnessing the energy and genius of our young people. Meanwhile, under the leadership of Dr. Jackson and her team at CPS, this summer's youth programming also includes Choose to Change. This innovative program, which will serve 270 high schoolers who are at risk of becoming victims or perpetrators of violence, and which has been proven to reduce violence and justice system involvement by program participants. That's done by helping support these young men and women as they navigate the treacherous and often deadly path with trauma-informed cognitive behavioral therapy, wraparound services, summer jobs, and most of all, relentless, devoted, loving engagement. Under the leadership of Superintendent Mike Kelly, the Chicago Park District will be combining its summer day camp with virtual activities. We will be beginning in-person programs on July 6th. Meanwhile, we've reimagined and converted many programs to a virtual setting due to COVID-19. This includes our STEAM Ambassadors program, created through a unique partnership between City Colleges and Northwestern. Our City Colleges students will be mentoring young people through STEAM activities online and in person. And finally, and one of my personal favorites, we'll be having our Summer Learning Challenge, led by Commissioner Tully and her team at the Chicago Public Library, which this year features significantly expanded digital offerings with a focus on mitigating summer learning loss among students. For a kid who grew up reading and really loving it, and who couldn't wait to visit my local library to check out another book, you can guess which program I've been a part of. I would have been a part of. And that's only what we're doing within our city departments. In addition to all of these incredible programs, our young people can also connect up with amazing groups like After School Matters, Project Exploration, Social Works, Adler Planetarium, Breakthrough, and others. All of these programs, both private and city-sponsored, can be found on our My Shy, My Future website, myshyMyfuture.org, which serves as a one-stop shop for youth and caring adults to find experiences and programs that best suit them. This site also has live events almost every day of the week. For example, families can check out our Saturday DJ series tomorrow at 4 p.m. or take an arts masterclass with an artist sponsored by DCASE on Tuesdays, or do a virtual workout together on Wednesdays with the Park District. And on top of that, resources for our youngest Chicagoans can be found at Chicago's early learning, pre-learning site, which is resources for our kids under the age of 5. When you think about all that we are talking about today and all that we have to offer to our young people, this really exemplifies who we are as a city. As I said earlier, what we're celebrating today is our children, our young people, and our future. We all want the best things for them. And it's through these passions, these commitments that we're making now in programs like these that will pay dividends in the years to come. Because we're not only ensuring that none of them are left behind, but that they have the support and the foundation they need to see and seize their future and create a roadmap for how we get there. I want to thank everyone here. I know how tirelessly you've worked over these last few months to make sure that we had a meaningful summer for our young people. So my hat is off to all of you, the hard work, the collaboration. This is what city government should be about. We need to be a catalyst for the change in our neighborhoods that we want to see, and we particularly need to seize this moment and listen and inspire our young people. Thank you very much, and it's my great pleasure to bring to the podium Youth Commissioner Elijah Warren.
Good afternoon. Before I begin, I would like to thank the mayor and the mayor's office for allowing me to use this platform to give a youth perspective of the new summer programs that are being provided. My name is Elijah Warren, and I go to Whitney M. Young Magnet High School. I am a rising senior. I am passionate about music, language learning, swimming, football, and much more. I am also a part of Brave Youth Leaders, which stands for Bold Resistance Against Violence Everywhere. This is a youth activist group located in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, and it is where Father Pfleger's church, St. Sabina, is located. There, I am able to be a voice for the thousands of kids in underprivileged neighborhoods where I can advocate for change. Brave is what set my path to become involved with more activities that relate to the government and community development. I am also a member of the Mayor's Youth Commission. This commission consists of like-minded individuals across various neighborhoods in the city of Chicago, whose goal is to bridge the gap between young people and the mayor's office and CPD. We specifically engage with young people to relay back what we have heard to government officials. We also relay news and information from conversations with officials to young people. Events such as the Chicago's first youth budget town hall and the Chicago Recovery Youth Summit are how we have provided feedback from young people to the mayor's office. We also wrote a letter to our mayor detailing experiences and accounts from young people from the George Floyd protests to provide an emotional perspective that we hope the mayor connected with. I have so far had a wonderful experience in this Mayor's Youth Commission, and I can only imagine how many opportunities will stem from this program for other young people. One specific thing I am extremely proud of is our connection to My Shot, My Future. This digital platform allows youth like me to access hundreds of activities and content that will make our summer fun and also productive. This website is constantly growing, and it allows hundreds of organizations to connect to youth. This is the first time that Chicago has something like this, and I think that this free resource will connect thousands of youth to things that we will enjoy. I am absolutely so proud to be a young individual in Chicago. Being a part of a generation that is moving our city and our nation to a society that acknowledges the foreground of systematic oppression we unfortunately rest on, and is making the effective change to remove bigoted ideologies that still plague others, that's something worth to be proud of. Young people, I know we are in uncertain times that aren't ideal for a lit summer. However, I commemorate the many opportunities that our government are giving us. I hope that through these different programs, each and every one of us will be able to learn something new, find a new interest, or continue to hone skills or hobbies that we are interested in this summer. We are the leaders of today and tomorrow, and I pray that these windows of opportunity will inspire us to pour back into our communities. Now I would like to introduce the Commissioner, Lisa Morrison Butler of the Department of Family and Support Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah. My name is Lisa Morrison Butler, and it is my honor and privilege to lead the team at the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. I'm delighted to be here today as part of the My Shy, My Future ecosystem and the opportunity that it represents for literally tens of thousands of young people across the city. Again, this year, city agencies, local nonprofits, and local businesses have collaborated to provide quality learning, enhancement, and growth opportunities for Chicago's youth. This summer, Along with the rest of our city partners, we're working with folks like After School Matters, our friends at the Chicago Park District, Chicago Public Schools, and the Chicago Housing Authority. We will provide nearly 20,000 job opportunities for youth as part of One Summer Chicago. One Summer Chicago is the umbrella program for all of the city's summer jobs opportunities. Underneath the One Summer Chicago program umbrella are a host of opportunities where, depending on their interests and their passions, including the continuation of programs like Everyone Can Code in partnership with JP Morgan Chase, youth have the opportunity to learn and create and grow and contribute. Under the leadership of Mayor Lightfoot and First Lady Amy Eshelman, we're excited this year to announce a completely new initiative, and the mayor alluded to it. This is the launching of the Chicago Youth Service Corps as one of the One Summer opportunities that we'll have this year. I'm really excited about the Chicago Youth Service Corps. Before joining the city team, I actually ran an organization called City Year Chicago, and I know personally and upfront the power of young people when you unleash them and support them and empower them to make change on their communities. The Chicago Youth Service Corps is a like-minded opportunity. It will be civic service focused, and it will be that track of One Summer this year. Corps members who participate in this opportunity will build relationships, leadership skills, life skills, and professional skills as they perform activities that will also make a positive impact in their communities. The Chicago Youth Service Corps is an initiative designed especially for young people who have been robbed this year of so many important opportunities due to the pandemic. There were no proms this year. There were no in-person graduations, and a lot of rites of passage have had to be forsaken because of the pandemic. There are hosts of young people that are really looking forward to contributing in a real and significant way to make their communities better as a result of the pandemic. The Corps will exist under the One Summer Chicago program umbrella and will specifically focus on developing leadership and empowering a service mindset in participants. We had planned this year to launch with 1,000 Corps members, and we are so excited that due to the support of the foundation that the mayor mentioned and the involvement of Chicago Park District, that we will actually have 2,000 Corps members this year, and to pull this off within 90 days has been nothing short of miraculous. Research shows us that teens feel better when they can turn their attention to supporting others in a meaningful way. And because young people have experienced disruptions in their lives due to the pandemic, the Chicago Youth Service Corps will give them an opportunity to give back. By making life skills a developmental priority for young people, we're also investing in the leaders of tomorrow, young people like Elijah. Summer experiences can be more than just something to do opportunities. They are a critical investment in the city's future. And so this year, when so many of our major cities across the country could not invest in their youth, I could not be more personally grateful to Mayor Lightfoot and to First Lady Amy Eshelman for staying the course, for making it possible for 20,000 young adults to participate, and for also having the wherewithal to help us launch the Summer Youth Chicago Corps. I want to thank them and all of our partners for their steadfast resolve to youth in general and to making summer jobs a priority this year. And we are super excited to kick off programming on July 6th. Thank you very much, and it is my pleasure right now to bring on my partner in crime, Superintendent Mike Kelly of the Chicago Park District.
Thank you, Commissioner. So many important points have been made by everyone up here, and I just want to echo what everyone has said. I want to thank the mayor for her leadership. I want to thank First Lady Eshelman for her leadership. I want to give a shout out to all my colleagues who share in the passion for youth and making change in these young people's lives day in, day out. I want to give a shout out to our alumni, Alderman Scott, and all the park people that are here today. I cannot, absolutely, applaud.
Alonzo's clapping.
Absolutely, right. Alonzo Williams, who was leading, the applause, and I can't thank though enough everybody on the park team, and I can't overstate what they went through the adversity we faced, the way all my colleagues faced up here, to put summer on. And then lastly, I want to recognize Elijah, because that's what today's announcement's all about. And I'm pretty sure as I scan the room, Elijah, you're the youngest person in here. So it's all about youth, it's all about young people. And I'll tell you what, you represent yourself in Chicago very well, and we're in good hands with guys like you. So thank you. So in less than 2 weeks, the Park District will welcome our children to the first day of camp. Beginning July 6th through August 14th, the district will offer a modified version of its popular day camp at 148 parks across the city. Families will also have the option of registering for a 2-week extended camp that runs August 17th through the 28th. Campers will engage in STEAM activities, reading, journal writing, as well as modified sports and outdoor activities that observe social distancing and other public health guidance. The Chicago Park District will provide free lunch and snacks to all registered participants. Now, we're currently at 80% capacity, and parks like Holman Square, we still have spaces available. So please, if you need a place for your child, go to chicagoparkdistrict.com and register your child. There's 39 spots open right now at Holman Square. In addition to our camp, I'm very proud to announce also that we're offering in-person opportunities in gymnastics, our junior lifeguard training program, our special recreation programs, in addition to the menu of virtual programs that families can access from home. We're also working with a number of partners and not-for-profits to create additional opportunities to engage young people, particularly our teens, and Commissioner Butler touched on that. And as always, we will not turn any child away for an inability to pay. We have financial assistance, we have scholarship opportunities. Please do not let money be an obstacle to putting your child into one of our parks. Again, go to our website, chicagoparkdistrict.com. If you can't tell, we are excited to resume programming and provide opportunities for our young people to get out of the house, release some energy, and participate in enriching recreational programs in a safe manner. So let's make the best of this summer 2020. We look forward to seeing all of you and all your kids in our parks. So thank you, and it is now my pleasure to turn it over to Police Superintendent David Brown.
Nice to meet you in person. Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, as well as our other city partners and elected officials for being here today. Chicago Police Department is also eager to get back to the important work of interacting with young people in every neighborhood throughout the city. Let this little secret out, it's why I applied for the job. Cops interacting with young people is the best use of our time. Starting July 6th, CPD will be rolling out a variety of programs for youth in our districts. I encourage you to call the district CAPS office to learn more about the programming offered in each of the 22 districts throughout the city. Each district provides programming that is unique to its own community. We also have broader efforts underway, including the Neighborhood Youth Corps, which works in partnership with Chicago Housing Authority. I would like to recognize Tracy Scott, who is CEO of CHA, for her agency's partnership in this effort. The Neighborhood Youth Corps, or NYC, is a program for CHA teens from 15 to 17, which empowers young people by presenting them with a variety of professional and social opportunities. Some of these lessons include conflict resolutions and lessons in financial responsibility. CPD also works with these teens on their college preparedness, with a focus on steering participants to growing industries. There's also a volunteering and social service component. I recently met a graduate of such a program. Jediah Davis had been participating in CPD's program since she was 9 years old. She is currently the leader in the 9th District Youth Advisory Committee. She will be attending the University of Indiana in the fall. The lesson here is that participation in these programs can lead to tremendous outcomes for our children. Our police officers also have missed seeing kids in their neighborhood, and they are excited to have them back into their districts. Whether this is playing a game of chess or basketball, or sitting in a peer jury. The voices of these young people have a profound impact on our officers. Their outlook on life, perspective to our officers, and it shows our officers how young people think. These uniformed officers then take that experience out with them in their patrol cars and with each interaction they have with the public. Really, we need to be thanking these young people for everything they are providing our police officers. Now, I would like to bring back up to the podium Mayor Lightfoot for any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello again.
I'm back. Thanks, Mayor. It is going to, though, be an unusual summer.
It is.
And might there be, just as I'm listening to all this, I'm thinking, there might be parents and even some young people dying to get out, but reluctant. What do you tell them? Is it safe? You know, we hear wear a mask, be careful, all of this. You're saying, come on, join us.
Well, look, fair point, but what I know is a couple things. Number one, we can't say that there are no risks. COVID-19 is still very much part of our present. What we've been preaching literally for the last 3 months and will continue to say is you've got to calculate those risks and you've got to take precautions. That's why we emphasize wearing a face covering anytime that you go out. All the programs that are going to be offered in person are going to be done consistent with the public health guidelines, making sure that there's social distancing. There'll be plenty of opportunity for kids to wash their hands, but also engage in other kinds of hand hygiene. But also the difference is every single program that's being offered, every single department that's offering programs is also offering virtual interactions. So we try to balance the need to get young people out and get them exercising and breathe fresh air, which is a good thing, but also recognizing the realities of where we are in the arc of this virus, and then also having virtual offerings as well.
Amy Jacobson from WIND is asking, what about organized sports? When will they become a part of the reopening?
Look, she's asked this question before, and I'll give the same answer. A lot of the organized sports, particularly at the high school level, is going to be governed by the Illinois High School Sports Authority. We work with them, we're talking with them, and they're going to also be governed by the public health guidance and where we are. That's why we constantly do frequent updates on the data, what progress we've made. So we'll be in coordination with them as well as the Illinois State Board of Education and CPS. Everybody's enthusiastic about getting back to sports, but like with everything, we've got to do it in a way that makes sure that we keep our young people safe.
There's some more off topic from
Sure.
Kelly Bauer at Block Club. Do you have any new concerns about reopening since Illinois has seen increases in cases and deaths in the last few days, and other reopened states are also seeing spikes?
Well, look, as I just said, we can't say that reopening is risk-free. It's not. And we've been very, very clear with the public, and we will continue to be. We're working with the various industry sectors to make sure that they are being true to the various guidelines that have been crafted in conjunction with them. I will tell you, I see some things that give me pause, and when I do, I call up one of the deputy mayors and say, hey, we need to talk to this one or that one. But we're going to continue to be diligent in saying the COVID-19 is still here. We have to engage in social distancing. We are watching what's happening all around us in other states with growing concerns, and we will take the steps that are necessary to keep Chicagoans safe.
So if Chicago sees a spike, would you perhaps roll back reopenings even if the rest of the state does not?
Look, Chicago is unique and different than the rest of the state. And I think that that's been recognized by the state from day one, which allowed us to chart our own course on a number of different points. We've got to keep people safe. We are not going to have a vaccine probably until sometime in 2021, hopefully soon, but we don't have one now. And the only thing that's making the difference, that's allowed us to make the progress, is for people recognizing that they have a personal but also a civic responsibility to do the right thing, be smart, and keep each other safe. So I don't want to speculate about what might happen. We're still making, regardless of what's happening elsewhere, in Chicago, we're still making good progress on all the public health metrics that we measure: ICU beds, hospitalizations, ventilators. testing, percent positivity, all those things continue to trend in a good direction, but we have to remain diligent.
Craig Wall is asking about the topic that you brought up at the very beginning of this news conference. What impact will the arbitrator's ruling in the police supervisor's contract have on the FOP negotiations? And I think you did bring it up a little bit, but
yeah, I expect us to use the topics, but also the process as a template and a guide for when we fully engage with the FOP. Out of consideration and courtesy at the request of the new president, we delayed restarting those negotiations. We're anxious to get back to the bargaining table, but I hope that they recognize and bring to the negotiations the same collaborative effort, fighting hard and pressing for the issues on behalf of their members, but recognizing reform is here. We're continuing down this path. We are not going to stand still. The status quo has failed everyone, certainly the public, and also I think including their members. And while people are going to say and do whatever in public, at the bargaining table, we continue to press hard on the issues that we know will be a roadmap, not a roadblock for making progress on reform and accountability.
he also is wondering, what's your take on the call by Kim Fox for politicians to return FOP donations, as Don Harmon says he will be giving back at least $2,000.
Well, I don't have to worry about that. I don't think I'm on the donor list for the FOP.
My colleague Phil Rogers is working on a story about Ronald Watts, and I think you're familiar with him.
Yes.
I'm going to jump to his question, which is 15 officers tied to Watts are still on desk duty. 10 of them are so tainted that the state's attorney says it will not call them as witnesses in any case. Why are they being paid by the city basically to not be police and still have their pensions funded? How long should this go on?
Well, first of all, if they're on desk duty, that means they're doing work. It's not that they're not doing anything. But look, I take the point, and Superintendent Brown has been dealing obviously with a range of different things, but we do need to get those cases resolved and get them resolved quickly. They've been on desk duty for quite some time, and I think that it's incumbent upon, whether it's IAD or COPA, to move those investigations forward so that we have some resolution and some certainty about the future of those officers.
They still will be, obviously they're still getting their pensions as well.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any say over pensions. Believe me, if I did, John Burge wouldn't have died with his pension. Jerome Finnegan wouldn't have his pension. If I had some say in that, none of those people, particularly the ones that have been convicted of federal crimes arising from their jobs as police officers, that's a whole other issue that we absolutely have to address in this moment. No one who dishonors the badge, gets convicted of a crime related to their badge, should ever have their pension. That's dishonor to the men and women who bust their tails and do their job the right way, and it's an insult to the taxpayers.
Jim Daly from Southside Weekly is asking, an attorney for the Chicago Freedom School announced they filed a lawsuit and are seeking an injunction to prevent the city from enforcing the cease and desist order that the Business Affairs and Consumer Protection issued the school on May 30th. Can you direct Rosa Escarino to rescind that order? And if not, do you think the action taken by BACP and CPD was appropriate?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to comment, obviously, on pending litigation.
All right, I think that's all for me.
Okay. You good? All right, thank you all. Happy Friday, everyone.